Currently serves as Senior Manager, Risk and Compliance at Microland Limited, Bengaluru. Dr. Karan Kumar.
There were moments like one of the moment I'll define it, and which has been quite challenging.
Like you've led programs touching technology, process, and people across audits, VCPs, and global compliance transitions.
The same thing is now this psychological mind. Now, psychological mind warfare is how it is like you trick the person.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I am Tanayol, and today's conversation is going to be both insightful and inspiring. We've spoken to leaders from boardrooms, laboratories, and global enterprises, but today we are entering a world where leadership meets foresight, where decision making isn't just about growth but about governance, resilience, and trust. Our guest today is a visionary who has spent over 2 decades helping organizations anticipate risks, build operational resilience, and align governance with growth. With 24 years of experience in governance, risk, and compliance, he has led enterprise wide programs, strengthened organizational cultures, and championed frameworks that protect and empower businesses in the digital age. He's also an author, a thought leader, and an executive coach, and currently serves as Senior Manager, Risk and Compliance at Microland Limited, Bengaluru. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Karan Kumar. Sir, it's a pleasure to have you on our show today with us.
Thank you, Dhanman, for the lovely introduction, and I'm privileged to be on this discussion with you.
Pleasure is all ours, sir. Sir, to begin with, you've spent 24 years in governance, risk, and compliance. But could you please take us through that journey in your own words? Like maybe share one or two moments that truly shaped you, a challenge that tested your leadership, or a decision that you still look back on with pride today?
Sure, definitely. So, if I look on the back the 20 plus years of experience that I'm carrying right now, it's started not like a simple kind of a thing. It is like a test and trial errors of my life which has gone through. And at the initial stage, like if I go back just to recap my life, it is like I had there was not family support, and it was like I have to whatever I have built is built from the scratch, and it is again the sheer determination that I had that I want to be something in my life. I want to give back to the society, and that is what like I'm coming on with you guys, meeting with a lot of people who are into this discipline. That is how it is. I'm defining it and redefining myself. And the most important part of my life, which has been, is like in terms of the initial days of my career when I had started with the penetration testing or the hacking activity you call it. That was like a game changer for me, where like it is a hard lesson learned. Like initial days, like we say guru shishya model, right? So in order to find a person who can teach me this is very difficult. It had been a really difficult. Somehow I got in touch with the army background, in terms of like my friend circle was background from the defense, and somehow I got a neck of the, I'll say, the respected journals or the colonels at that point of time who were retired and they were starting the businesses in terms of the security. So mostly at that point, corporate security was the ball game for them. And this is how I got in touch with these guys. And somehow I got a guru in some or the other form, and they have helped me in terms of getting into the security aspect. And it was like initial internet age, so we were only password security. That was the first time thing that I came around this. And from there, I learned like how it move on to stage by stage. And currently, when I'm just looking back, I think it was like a time which has passed so easily. And right now, I'm dealing with so many the problems that looks like very simple, because the time that was there and now the time, it has really drastically changes. And coming on to this board part, when I'm really thinking about it, so what has happened is like when I'm meeting with people, the challenges that I have faced at my earlier age is the same kind of problem that they are facing now. It is only the thing is now we need to talk. We need to talk. So there's a big gap which is coming up, and it is really defining moment for that. Like it has came down, and in terms of the discussion and the times of interaction, now it has really drilled down in terms of the people aspect, that they really want to underscore, or I'll say bring out those points and on the table. So and it becomes a really I'll say defining moment when you go with these pointers and define those things and solve their problems. It's a big aha moment, and that is how I'm moving on with the senior leaders at this point of time.
Absolutely, sir. And like you said, starting out on something where just password protection had started to where we are now, you've seen the entire journey. So your experience is priceless, I would say.
Thank you. But again, it boils down to many things, because there were like systems, databases. Now, if I say that today is the internet age, which
Yeah.
is again AI, which
Yeah.
is much more bombastic, or I'll say you think of this thing and it is done. Now the thing is, the
Absolutely.
underlying principle again it is creating is, if I say to explain the audience here, is like take an inverted tree. Earlier, the software lifecycle was like limited, where we control the things. Now, in terms of AI, what has happened is the roots are like expanding multiple folds,
Yeah.
because in a way the output is that you also want more data, more information from the AI technology. Now, the more that it is broadening its horizon, the more scope of risk which is arising, due to which, like if you have seen as like in terms of the I'll say ransomware attacks which is happening on,
Yes, sir.
and due to which, why it is happening, because the data is openly available in the in the black market, I'll say, on the internet world. It is, so it is a major thing which is now it is coming up, that we need to take into consideration, that
Yeah.
these are something that each and every governance is facing,
True.
whether you call it, even if the risk which is prevailing in terms of the ESG risk, the financial risks, which we all are aware of, and which we hear in day-to-day news as well.
True.
So definitely, it's a plus point that we need to move on and make awareness in terms of the board should be aware of, and they should again get in consultation with a lot of people. It is not one single people they need to consult.
Yeah.
What happened is, like, your perspective might be different, my perspective would be different,
Very
but
true.
when we come on with the solutioning part, it definitely helps to have multiple heads to solve that problem.
Yeah. So, your transition from technical roles to enterprise risk leadership is fascinating. So, we will have to unpack that. Like, you've led programs touching technology, process, and people across audits, BCPs, and global compliance transitions. When you look back, what's one moment that truly tested you as a leader and taught you something that you still carry today?
Definitely there were moments, like one of the moment I'll define it, and which has been quite challenging, is there was a large database, and we were doing a BCP for that company, and it is multi geography, multi MNC company, multi geography hosted company, which is like again the databases are were in multiple locations. And what has happened is, like, there was some attacks which has happened, and due to which we people were not able to rebuild the systems, and due to which the RTO, the recovery time objective, we were losing it. So what is happening, and due to which the client was in a panic situation, and that panic situation has led to the boardroom also, because the senior management is again uh, trying to fix that and trying to get a solution out of it, and it was like a totally chaos. And our engineers were on the data center along with me. I was on the floor of the data center, that trying to set up the database along with for the recovery part, and time is running out. It is like tick 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 the time is ticking it out. Now the thing is, what happened is, now after understanding, like 6 hours went, 24 hours, it's already on the 24-hour verge that we are trying to figure it out. And it is critical. We know that. And we are trying rebuilding. Again, some failure is happening. We are doing that. Now, this thing has happened is, like, people were like disheartened, first of all. And there's like a lot of chaos. Like, people are in a mood that, okay, somebody will take a fight. So at that point of time, when I had been sitting with one of the management people, and I'm trying to explain that these are some of the things. Then again, we went to a war. room. Again, I explained them that okay, at this point of time, chaos will not help us. So let's be calm, bringing the composure first. That okay, what we need to do, what we need to look on, where we are getting wrong. So I have gone back as same as the coaching model that I have followed in terms of making them understand. Okay, let's piece by piece, let's go, let's drill it down, so that at least it becomes easy for them to understand. So when this thing came in, so there was a silence, there was a composure that okay, management agreed to it, let's do it piece by piece, let's get to some solution. So that is was the like after like I'll say 26th hour, we were up and running, and it was night early morning, but that was like a groundbreaking moment for us that okay, with this one single effort we have given come on to a common consensus that okay, we need to abide something. That is like a composure moment, I like say
Yeah,
calm moment. So that really helped.
yeah,
So at
yeah.
times, like definitely to be calm, it is really helpful, and that lesson goes till today also.
Yeah, and especially when things are going wrong, even more
Yes,
important than to
yes,
stay calm.
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've managed incidents, ensured continuity, and overseen compliance for sensitive systems. What
Hmm.
goes through your mind in those moments when outcomes matter for people and businesses? And how do you stay calm when everyone around you is depending on you?
See, one motto that I have learned in terms of the my hacking old days when I was doing hacking. So when you in the movies, okay, I'll give you a quotation that like when you see the movies of hacking, you see that person is like a nerd. He might be doing idiotic things, but he is doing his job. The problem is like even if you work focus on that, it is the patience that comes in. He is patiently working on that irrespective so many sounds which are coming from here and there, or the noise which is coming. The same thing is like applies to me as well, and that is what I have been inculcating for myself. And because at times what happen, the if you raise the voice, for example, it is not going to solve the problem there and then. Rather again we have to come back to the same situation, like again what is the impact, where we are going, where we can start fixing this problem. So let's make it piece by piece, so that it's easy for the other party to also to understand and give us a solution back to us as well. So this moment when you are in this situation, definitely at times I'm also under pressure, but I've seen that okay, within the same, it's like if you are hot you cannot be hot, or you cannot be hotter, right? So it's like you have to come to a common conclusion, so that you need to work on, because we know that okay, the business impact is there, financial losses are there, but if you don't solve the problem, or you don't have the idea to get the rectified, it is really a, I'll say make the situation worse. So definitely you have, I have seen this, and definitely I'm saying there were moments in my life as well where it is like either we are losing the contract, or it is on our side, both the side that we have seen. So at times it is only the peace negotiation which works, and definitely it has been I'll say life lessons, and which also I'll say drive in terms of the boardroom aspect which I've seen. Because
Yeah.
currently when as per the enterprise risk management, I'm dealing with multiple people, and there are also the strategic risk which is coming up, the geopolitical risks are coming up. So we cannot just call it a day in within a just single fluke. So we have to try to figure out solutions. So I had been like part of this, and I have been getting both the sides. So it's a, again I'll say everybody has a learning, definitely from both the perspective we need to consider. So at times like my I'm not saying that my voice is heard every time, it is I'm on the same thing. So it is like okay, let's, but at times we have to make the minimal aspect, so that each one of us can understand what we are supposed to do, and are we doing that or not. So that is the thing.
Very well said, sir. So managing GRC is not just about rules, it's about people, processes, and culture. When
Mhm.
introducing new compliance frameworks, how do you balance strict adherence with employee engagement and operational efficiency?
Okay, I'll answer this in such a way that you also can relate. So the thing is like whenever we need some change, or when we make, or we say like in India, we have when this 2000 rupees was banned, right? Now, at that point of time, it was very difficult to adjust that how we will survive and how what the things will happen. At least for like 6 months, it has been a big challenge for all of us. And if you see that period after drastically, after like 6 months, it has gone slowly, slowly, slowly. It has starting coming to a phase of life where we normalcy is restored, right? The same way, what I have trying to implement all these bylaws, GRC. Again, there's a lot of bylaws. Is like if I say 31,000 for the risk management. If I go with uh, information technology, or per se the data privacy aspect, that bylaws, all those things are there. The first thing is like when you are making change, how the people will respond. Well, are the people ready to take that? Or are they willing to accept this? So the very first thing is the people mindset that has to be changed. I cannot force them and apply these policies, because until now the people are within themselves are like why we are doing this, and do we need to imply or apply within ourselves, and will it be beneficial to us? If those things are not explained, not inculcated, it is very difficult to bring up the change. And change, I'll definitely say, it could not be only on the corporate side, it is within all the spheres of our life as well. Because suppose if you say like you today you have to go to a new place, say abroad, if you're moving on, you have to say you have to start your life cycle from zero again, because you have to understand their culture, their pain points, how they respect, how they dress up, and everything. The same thing applies to us as well, and in the corporate as well. It is not only about the technology. So the base thing is like if you grounded, definitely the things will start falling in place. At times it happens that you what are the result you wanted will not happen for sure, but definitely if you again apply in a simple phased manner that why we are doing, what is the benefit of this, how it can apply, then definitely it will start falling in place. And at times again I must say policies, when we say even legal laws in India, if we start saying that it is difficult to apply, definitely at times it is like GST is a very live example in front of us. It is very difficult to implement, but over the period of time when people have started following it, it has been implemented. The same thing is like with the GRC technology, or there's so many tools which come into place. So again, as for the organization need, we have to give the training, proper training to the people so that they understand, okay, if we are doing this, what is the impact? First, impact to ourselves, impact to the business. So if business is not gaining ground on these things, definitely they will not pay heed to it. And today, considering the again the latest technology, they will say, okay, how much time I'm saving, and in turn, what is the benefit or what is the ROI I'm getting it. So
Yeah.
if those calculations the person himself is not benefited, he will not pay heed to it. The simple again example, before this AI technology came, we were like in automation. You might remember that, right? Now automation is what, like a tedious task, I'm simplifying it so that it can automate and it
Yeah.
saves me time. Now
Yeah.
this automation gives a lot of benefit to the end user who's doing it. So one, this thing is in his mind that okay, I can be benefit, I'll be writing scripts, so in a back of mind he is doing that. Why? Because he want to save time, and in a way when he is doing this, the company is also getting benefit.
Yeah.
So these things, definitely a mindset change is the first thing before I apply anything else.
Very true. Okay, so now it's time for our very own rapid fire round. A few
Okay.
questions, and all we request you are quick answers, one word or one sentence. So, are you ready?
Yeah, Tanmay.
Perfect. What's your morning routine? What energizes you to start the day?
My morning routine is like to have a cup of tea.
Lovely. One book or podcast you always recommend?
Simon Sinek, Why? The book name is Why, Simon Sinek. That I always read time and again. It is on my laptop as well. So whenever I get time, I revise it. So that is a wonderful thing. It is not only about the business aspect, it also about why.
Yeah. If you could automate one part of your day, what would it be?
Exercise.
Lovely. Biggest source of inspiration in your work?
Startups, new startups which come up because they try to solve the problems.
Yeah.
So those are the why can't I do it?
Yeah,
If they
yeah.
can do it, why can't I?
Truly inspirational. If you could master any skill instantly, what would it be?
That is a tough question, but yes, again, learning is a continuous process that I'll say I have to learn, relearn, unlearn.
Uh, Favorite way to unplug and recharge after a high pressure week?
I'll go for a walk.
Okay. If your career had a tagline, what would it be?
Same as like just do it.
Yeah, lovely. Okay, sir, thank you so much for those quick answers. That gets us to the end of our rapid fire, and now back to a few last serious questions.
No.
So, one growing concern in the IT and tech industry today is sophisticated scams like phishing, fake vendor invoices, or social engineering attacks targeting employees and organizations. With your experience in risk and compliance, how do you see companies protecting themselves against these scams, and what practical steps can leaders take to build a culture of vigilance across teams?
Uh, right. So considering this, lot of scams, online scams, and frauds which are happening, and even say the corporate data has been stolen, like customer data which has been sold on the dark web as well, and many companies, even Indian government companies, are also face this challenge. Now, considering this, like every day today, we lot of phishing calls which we get. Now, the major thing is like people need to be aware of. If people are not aware of all these things, it is earlier the warfare is like man to man or man to machine. Earlier it was like the military is on the defense side and they have to fight. Now that when the computers came into system, then now they were using like this antivirus and virus and all those things come into picture, and they're using ransomware attacks and all those. Now the thing is, now they are not on those systems. Now they are playing with the minds of the people. It's like a psychological warfare. So simple example to more to understand is like biowarfare. When I'm saying the COVID area, COVID which we have faced, which we cannot see and which we cannot conclude anything as well, right? The same thing is now the psychological mind. Now psychological mind warfare is how it is like you trick the person. So suppose like you have already seen the FedEx call, like you have received a packet of FedEx and it has drugs in it. So this is what they are playing with the psychological of the person, that is a mind. And the very first is like the if in security language, if I say the human is the weakest link in this chain, no matter what. Human is the person who is doing everything, but he is termed to be as the weakest link because why? He can be tricked. Suppose he says like your family is in danger, you pay us. The man psychology is that like I have to protect my family, right? So he will do anything to protect his family, but he does not know like what is going in the mind, that he has deceived in turn and he is cheated. The same thing is now we are like totally on phone pay and Google Pay. We are booking hotels. We are sitting in India, say Delhi, and you are booking hotel in Goa. Now you don't know the person is genuine or not, and he gives you a number or a scan or barcode, and you pay him. But when you reach to the hotel, that it is duped off. So why it happens? This is happens like people are not aware of these things and they are not trained on it, because what happened is like if the psychology is trained enough, of the people are trained enough, they can handle these things. And we are not taught or not handled in such a way that we can learn. And another case is like when we are not trained, our family members are also duped off. So that is the biggest problem that which I have seen, and it is gaining day in day out. And it is not with only like the, I'll say, in the civil society, it is also on the corporate side also. We are getting a lot of ransomware attacks which is happening, where like why it is happening, because again, when the person is doing say xyz company at microsoft.com, or this is the domain, so he is signing into multiple websites, right? After office hours, he is saying signing in. Now, this information is being captured by multiple people. The hackers who are paid to do this job, they are day in day and looking for these information. Now, due to which they are sending files, they are sending viruses, they are sending malwares onto their system, onto this corporate. So this is like how, even in this is like the mails are looks like genuine. Now, if I say that you are fired or you are given a gift voucher of so and so, underlining the signature is a VP or CEO. This is how it is there. So now this is what this thing is happening. Now, if the person who's joined like a fresher who's joined the company and he's not aware of, okay, if such can happen, he will say yes, I am ready to accept this. He just have to put the accept button and click, and he's gone. All information, everything, even the company information is gone. So this is why in most of the companies and outside also, I have been training people on the information security as a vigilance kind of a thing, and so that the people are aware of these things. And now also like people, we are trying to on campaign which I have started with one of my colleague, is like going to societies on a weekends and just take, I'll say 10 or 15 minutes of their time. So just we gather, apprise them of one of the situation, like why, what you need to be aware of. So people are coming to your doorstep, like Swiggy, Zomato, people are they genuine? Are you looking at their genuineness also? So we are just trying to say, like, have a kind of a vigilant mind so that they can take care of these things. So this is the problem which we are facing, and
Yeah.
definitely this is the, I'll say, the some of the steps that we are taking into consideration.
Yeah. The habit of keeping into check whatever's going on.
Yes.
Yeah. Sir, you're now part of Directors Institute. Could you please share your experience joining this community and how it aligns your journey in governance, risk, and compliance?
Sure. So first of all, I'll thank the Director Institute, and I'll definitely like why I have joined it in terms of like I want to share the knowledge which I have so
Yeah.
that it can come out from not in from one place, and at least where it is required. Now you guys are like helping in nominating for the ID independent directors to the board member as well. Now, this information, same information might be required by those companies. And probably my knowledge, my information definitely can help them from the bigger impact, which I can see, probably they can't see.
Yeah.
So that is the thing that I want to bring on the table and can help the other party as well. So I'm definitely thankful for that. And apart from this, like I had been freelance training and all those things, but this is the platform, I'll say, which can help me to reach out my voice to multiple people.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for those kind words, sir, and it's been an absolute pleasure. What stood out for me today is how you see leadership not just as following rules, but as enabling resilience, not just managing risk, but empowering people to make confident, informed decisions. So, thank you so much for being with us today, sir. It's been an honor being a part of this conversation, and I hope listeners take away one thing, that building a culture of vigilance and resilience is as much about people as it is about processes and policies. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much, sir.
Tanmay. Thank you, Tanmay. It's like I'll say once again, I'll say thank you, and it is wonderful interaction with you, and hope I have given some value to the listeners. Yeah,
100%,
thank you.
sir. To all our listeners, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute World Council of Directors, and I am Tanayol. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, keep leading with purpose, and as I always say, have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.